you just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
In tonight's bulletin, Fiji First Leader Varange Bainimarama holds fundraiser in New Zealand amid minor protest. Former Fiji Labour Party stalwart Daniel Urai doubts FLP Sadelpa coalition will work. And NFP claims education system in Fiji isn't up to par. Thank you for joining us. Good evening, I'm Amrita Priyadarshini and this is FBC News. A Fiji Electricity Authority employee has died after he fell from an electric post while working at Nandi Town this morning. Fiji Police Force has confirmed the death, saying the matter is being investigated. Police spokesperson Atunaisa Sokomori says the FEA staff was on an electric post when it's believed his safety harness snapped and he fell to the ground. Sokomori says the victim died as a result of the injuries he suffered from the fall. The 27-year-old man was working on an electric post opposite the new Nandi market. FEA is yet to comment on the incident. A former Fiji Labour Party stalwart says the FLP's coalition with the Social Democratic Liberal Party is a farce and will be its biggest downfall come elections next month. Unionist Daniel Urai, who stood for 2 elections under the Labour banner, is calling it a marriage of convenience. Christopher Chand reports.
FLP leader Mahendra Chaudhry and Sodelpa's former leader Laisenia Ngarase were political foes prior to the events of 2006.
We were in Parliament, respectfully, as I was a Labour candidate representative. SDL then was running government under Ngarase and Mahen. They couldn't see eye to eye. Had those two been able to look at developing Fiji and not the individual interests, we wouldn't have been where we are now.
After the 2001 elections, Chaudhry's strained relations with Ngarase prevented FLP from being represented in cabinet, and it continued after the 2006 elections, even though FLP were given minor ministerial positions. Chaudhry was appointed Minister for Finance in the Bainimarama government in 2007. That same year, he said Ngarase's SDL government had lacked integrity and ethics.
Mahen stating that he will work together with SDL, who has a completely different view of politics in Fiji compared to Labour. Mahen, as you know, has made Labour Party over the years into an Indian party. And Sodelpa is different. How on earth do you think that they can work together? Anyone's guess. It's done for Mahen's political survival, and I don't think the people will be hoodwinked into it this time around.
Urai says our political history has proven such coalitions will not work, as was the case in 1999 when the National Federation Party formed a coalition with the Songo Songo ni Vakavulewa ni Toke or SVT.
It's going to be difficult for them, even for the Labour Party supporters, to back Mahen on these issues, knowing that the ideologies, the policies of Sodelpa are exactly the opposite from Labour or under Mahen's current leadership. It will be difficult, be honest, for either of them to work together. It may be a marriage of convenience to get their job back, but they won't be able to run the country with a consistency that the people would expect it to be.
The Sodelpa FLP coalition seems to be in rough seas this week following the outburst by Ngarase.
At the end of the day, we will see if the policies are diametrically opposed, it will have to be reconsidered.
Sodelpa General Secretary Pio Tambaiwalu says political parties will have their differences in policies, but they are of the viewpoint that a coalition will be formed to move the country forward to parliamentary democracy. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
About 20 protesters gathered in Manukau, Auckland as Fiji First Leader Vorange Bainimarama held the festival. The protest was organised by the Fiji Democracy First Movement New Zealand and featured former Minister Rajesh Singh. The protesters invited New Zealanders to support them and had support from up-and-coming Internet Mana Party. There was abuse hurled at the media by some protesters, despite assurances that this would be a peaceful protest. The protesters gathered at the Vodafone Event Centre in Manukau and shouted abuse and remarks at the Fijian Prime Minister, who called them a bunch of losers. His speech was attended by an estimated 2,000 people. And Bainimarama is in New Zealand to fundraise for Fiji First. The National Federation Party says examinations that were abolished by the Education Ministry should be brought back. Party member Dr. Eddie Nambalarua says this will lift the quality of knowledge and competency in students who go through the education system. Vosita Kotewasawasa has more.
The National Federation Party says while it supports the free education system put in place by government, there is a need to lift the standard of the quality of education in Fiji.
When you remove the external examinations at the end, leaving it right at the beginning, leaving external examinations in Form 6 and Form 7, you know what happens? There is a lack of discipline in growing the level of intellectual maturity and competence that we want to see in our children.
Speaking to a capacity crowd of about 100 at the Vui level in Nausori last night, Nambalarua pointed out that it is because of this there is a lack of knowledge in students as they go on in life.
There is a mismatch, a very big mismatch between the competencies and the skills that we are putting out with our school kids and the expectations of the employers out there.
With 34 years of experience in the education sector, Nambalarua says the current scaling of exam results has to be removed.
We had students who were ducks in the schools, but when they came and sat the external exams in Form 6 and Form 7, their marks were so scaled, it created a lot of anxieties in these families.
Nambalarua was responding to questions from the public on government's free education initiative and what the NFP education policies are if voted into power. Wasita Kotewasawasa, FBC News.
Fiji First member Dr. Mahendra Reddy has defended the party against claims that the Bainimarama government is only appointing Muslims to senior positions. Speaking at a party meeting in Narere Nasinu, Dr. Reddy said parties in their desperation are trying to divide society with the use of communal agenda. According to Dr. Reddy, people are not identifying appointments in totally, citing his former role as chairman of the Commerce Commission as an example.
We have moved away from communal politics. We want to move towards a modern Fiji where we talk on issues, on our projects, on our strategies, and that's what we should stick to. This is not the time to divide the society. We have moved away from that.
About 50 people are believed to have attended the meeting in Nasinu. Well, coming up after the break, kawa and donu sold readily in fish markets despite attempts to curb sales during spawning season.
Nisambula, oyo Mr. Ben. Ela ba? Nama kikira na vima taka moni chikira vorumbu kama na ono kena ziwa Enabula FM.
Welcome back to FBC News. After 13 years of service and commitment, Fiji Women's Rights Movement Executive Director Virisila Mbonromo is stepping down from her post later this year. Shireen Lata spoke with Buendromo today.
Virisila Buendromo has significantly contributed to the strengthening of the Fiji women's rights movement's role as a leading human rights non-governmental organization in the Pacific and in the international arena.
Just being here, working alongside some of the most, smartest men and women in the country has been both encouraging for me, but also, fulfilling. And I think that the organization, working alongside its partners in the development arena, are going to be a strong part of Fiji's political, economic, and social terrain.
Buendromo, who was awarded the Westpac Executive Woman of the Year award earlier this year, says she is now thinking of joining politics, but that will be after further developing her career in the gender and development sector.
After the elections, I thought it would be a really great opportunity for new leadership to come to the organization and take the organization to a new level post-election. And I also want to try new things.
The former journalist says her experience with the Fiji women's rights movement has been personally and professionally enriching.
I think it has really made me grow as an individual, but also as a professional. It's also made me very proud to be part of Fiji's history, particularly during these tumultuous times since 2000 and the political crisis in 2006.
Buendromo's last day with the organization is on 21st November, and she hopes that the Fiji women's rights movement will continue to play a critical role in shaping Fiji's political, social and economic future. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
Kawakawa and Donu, two species of fish which NGOs are trying to protect, are readily being sold. FBC News visited fish markets around Suva to find that fishermen don't even know why they shouldn't catch Kawakawa and Donu. Josephine Navula reports.
The International Union for the Conservation of Nature is trying to get people pledged not to eat these two species of fish until the end of September, which marks the end of spawning season.
I'm here at the Bailey Bridge in Nambua, where this gentleman is selling six kawakawa. Sir, do you know that it is not good to sell kawakawa as it is its spawning season?
No, if we buy that thing, we can sell, because the fishermen, they brought that thing, then we have to sell it. But it is not banned, eh? The kawakawa is not banned, really not banned.
So for how long have you been selling kawakawa here in Bailey Bridge?
We sell all the fish every day, even not only the kawakawa, all kind of fish.
We also visited the Langere Fish Market in Nasino and the Suva Fish Market. In all of these places, fishermen and vendors were selling kawakawa and donu.
Here at the supermarket, where this family is selling kawakawa fish with price ranging from $25 to $50. I've had a chat with them and they do not know that it was not right to sell kawakawa as they have been supplied from Lambasa.
After collaborating a fieldwork with the local fishermen on our shores from 2003, researcher Yvonne Asado says there are usually less number of fishes found in regular fishing passages in Fiji.
We found generally that where the aggregations were depleted or gone, the fishery was in very poor shape. Which actually is not surprising, because the species that form these aggregations tend to be some of the more vulnerable ones to fishing.
Researches were carried out in Kandawu and the northern part of Vanuatu from 2003 till 2011. Hundreds of Fijians have taken a pledge to not eat the two species of fish, but for a lot of us, the message is still to get through. Josephine Navula, FBC News.
More than 13,000 students turned up for the University of the South Pacific Open Day at various campuses yesterday. Vice-Chancellor Professor Rajesh Chandra says he is proud of the institution's role as the premier provider of higher education in the Pacific and as the place where many of the region's future leaders spend their formative years. According to Chandra, quality has for the past 46 years been the core value of the university. He adds this is assured through a comprehensive system implemented by external advisors from renowned universities, institutional quality audits from Australia and New Zealand quality agencies, and by international accreditors.
I have learned so many things in this USP Open Day, and I'm sure it will help me a lot in achieving next year.
Okay, I just want to get like a lot of information, mainly on the career path that I want to take next year. Yeah, so like under which course that I will be taking.
I want to find out my career in life. What is the suitable thing that I can do to come into a USP.
Laudala campus, Lautoka and Lambasa and its regional campuses in Nauru, Solomon, Tokelau, Tonga, Tuvalu, Samoa and Vanuatu campuses were open to visitors. Ahead in sports, Ratu Kandavulevu Ruggers told to join National Youth instead of playing Dean's final. And hype is building up for the PGA with Suva getting a taste of international golf.
My name is Luca. I live on the second floor.
Gold FM, Molly the Classic Hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Bulabinaka for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was. I think it's 'cause
Well, leading FBC Sports tonight, 5 players from the Ratu Kandavulevu School under-18 team have been told to join camp with the 7th squad to the Youth Olympic Games instead of playing in the Dean's final next week. The Ministry of Education stepped in and directed Ratu Kandavulevu School to release the 5 before the national team leaves for China on Monday. Chalendau Dakadaka reports the players were initially not being released by their school.
Fiji's gold bid in 7th at the Youth Olympic Games glinted a little brighter after the Ministry of Education issued the players' release today.
We are pleased to announce that the 5 RKS players are now in the camp.
It has brought an end to the issue which has plagued the team's preparation, with only 7 players in camp over the past week. The Fiji Rugby Union confirmed to FBC Sports that the players will join camp today and undergo a hasty preparation on the game plan for the Youth Olympics.
So this is a very important opportunity, or a very good opportunity for them to showcase their talents. And we know that in Nanjing, China, there will be scouters from all around the world who will be identifying the talents in our children, and they might get an opportunity to join some other organizations or maybe internationally get recognition.
With a full team now in camp, Fiji will battle for gold against teams such as Argentina, Japan, China, United States and France. FBC Sports.
And our attempts to get a comment from national under-18 coach Saleh Sorovaki was unsuccessful. The Nandronga rugby side is on track to claiming the Skipper Cup title after defeating Suva 40-22 in the semi-final this afternoon. The Stallions ran rampant over the capital city side to delight its home fans. The Salanaunga coach side led Suva 20-0 at halftime. Nandronga will now await the winner of the second semi-final next weekend between Neita Siri and Nandi. The hype is building towards the Fiji International Golf Tournament at the Natandola Bay Championship course in Singatoka. Here in Suva, a fun day was held at Sekuna Park for the public to become more acquainted with the sport. Chalendo Dakadaka has more.
Members of the public took a swing at the free golf lessons on offer at Sukuna Park this morning. Officials of the Fiji International used the event to bring the tournament a little closer to home.
Yeah, it's been great. We've had a fair few people through this morning and a fair few newbies as well that haven't really played golf or seen a golf club before. So it's been good to expose them to the game of golf and also promote the Fiji International.
The event has been an effective tool in promoting the biggest international tournament in the country.
So far, it's coming together. The week before the tournament's always the busiest week. Everything sort of comes at one time, and everything's getting ready to go. But Steve's done a great job. The course super out there. The fairways are great. The greens are spectacular. It's going to be a great event on TV, and I encourage everyone to watch it.
The Fiji International tees off on Thursday with 120 players to compete for the title, as well as the prize money of $1 million. Silent Odakavak, FBC Sports.
On to soccer, and the Suva soccer side remains on top of the Fiji Sun Skippertunen National Football League after defeating Nandi 2-0 last night. The capital city side dominated from the opening, while with national under-20 rep Nicol Chand and Ravinesh Karan Singh scoring a goal each in each half. Suva has now won 9 games from 10 outings to earn 27 points, with Ba and Nandi second on 22 points. In games tomorrow, Suva will take to the field again, facing Nandronga at Lawanga Park. Navua will clash with Lambasa at Subrel Park, while Ba will face Rewa at Ratudakambao Park. Few showers were experienced over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands today. Fine weather prevailed elsewhere. A trough of low pressure lies slow moving over the Solomons, Tuvalu, Wallis and northern Tonga, Niue and southern Cooks. An easterly wind flow prevails over rest of the southwest Pacific countries. Warm temperatures prevailed over the Fiji group, with Nandi and Lambasa pulling a high of 31 degrees this afternoon. Well, tomorrow's forecast is for afternoon showers in Suva and Savu-Savu, with fine conditions over the rest of Fiji. As for the outlook for Monday, there will be a few showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. It should be fine elsewhere. Recapping our headlines tonight, Fiji First Leader Vorenga Bainimarama holds fundraiser in New Zealand amid minor protest. Former Fiji Labour Party stalwart Daniel Urai doubts FLP Sodelpa coalition will work. An FEA worker dies after falling from an electric pole in Nadi this morning. Time now for our Fijian Speak segment.
Fiji First. Fiji First.
There are so many candidates available, but it will depend on how voters vote themselves.
Now you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News, or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or hashtag FBC News. And to receive the latest headlines on your mobile phone, take subspace FBC to 777. That's all from us tonight. I'll be back tomorrow evening. Until then, have a safe and enjoyable night. Well, don't go away. Straight after this, there's a quick video of 20 lucky people who have won a chance to watch a tournament on the upcoming IRB World 7 Series. Bye for now.